The night was heavy with silence, so thick it seemed to press against her chest. Every shadow looked alive, every whisper of wind a warning. She crouched behind a jagged rock, eyes scanning the horizon with the precision of a predator and the doubt of a human. The SEALs had said it was impossible. No one hunts snipers at night, they'd laughed, shaking their heads. But she had already found one end, then another. And by dawn, there would be 10 gone. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're rewatching from. I love knowing who's listening. Her hands trembled, not from fear, but from the weight of responsibility. Wasn't just hunting, they were targets who could change the course of countless lives if left unchecked. Each heartbeat seemed to echo through the hills, a reminder that even the tiniest sound could betray her position. The air smelled of damp earth and burned gunpowder. A bitter cocktail she had grown accustomed to, but it still made her stomach churn. Hours earlier, she had been briefed in a room too bright, too sterile to understand the darkness awaiting her. The SEAL's smirks had lingered, an unspoken challenge. She had smiled back politely, concealing the fire she felt inside, a fire that refused to be underestimated. She wasn't here to prove herself to them. She was here to prove to herself that courage isn't about muscle or medals. It's about persistence. She shifted slightly, feeling the cold bite of the night against her cheek, and the faint rustle of leaves told her she wasn't alone. Not yet. Her scope traced the horizon, zeroing in on a silhouette perched just beyond a ridge. The first sniper. She inhaled slowly, counting the seconds, letting her heartbeat sync with the rhythm of survival. 1, 2, 3. She squeezed the trigger, watching through the scope as the threat disappeared. A whisper of movement, and another appeared. Time fractured into a series of tense moments, snap decisions, calculated patience. She moved like liquid shadow, her mind balancing strategy and morality. Each pull of the trigger weighed on her conscience. Each life ended a small fracture in her soul. Could justice justify this violence? Is the path she walked righteous, or simply necessary? She had no time to ponder. The night demanded action. The terrain was cruel, jagged rocks giving way to sudden drops, thorny underbrush clawing at her uniform. She pressed on, every muscle taut, eyes catching every flicker of motion. From the distant valley, faint murmurs carried on the wind, whispers of soldiers who had no idea a ghost was moving among them. Every whisper, every pause, every calculated breath heightened her awareness. She felt the pulse of the night in her veins. One by one the snipers fell, and with each the impossible seemed a little more possible. Her mind replayed the SEAL's skepticism, and a small, private smile crept across her lips. They hadn't believed it could be done. Neither had most people. But she had believed in something stronger. Her own precision, her own instincts, her own resolve. Yet amid the quiet victories, doubt clawed at her. Could she continue this night without losing herself? Could one human alone make choices that might haunt or save countless others? She paused on a ridge, watching the sun's first light begin to stain the sky, the air trembling with the possibility of discovery. The final sniper, the one who had eluded all others, confident in the shadows, waiting her breath, waiting. The wind shifted, carrying his faint scent, a warning. And then it was over. 10 snipers neutralized before dawn, not with brute force, but with patience, precision, and an unyielding will. She let herself exhale, her body sagging against the rocks, her hands finally still. Around her, the world remained quiet, almost reverent. No one cheered, no one noticed, but she felt it in herself, a small, private victory that only she could own. Her mind lingered on the faces of those she had stopped, not as enemies, but as moments of consequence, lives that could have ended countless others if she hadn't intervened. Justice, she realized, is never simple. It's a balance of courage and restraint, of action and reflection. She had crossed a line few dared to imagine, yet she had done it with clarity of purpose, guided by an unwavering sense of duty. As the first golden rays of the sun pierced the darkness, she looked out over the valley, breathing in the crisp morning air. There was beauty here, even in the aftermath of chaos. The world was waking, unaware of the night's invisible battle. Well, Terracel, a small, almost imperceptible smile. She had honored the shadows and the light alike, because courage doesn't boast. It waits quietly, unseen, until the world demands it most. And in that waiting, it finds its strength. She stood, brushing the dust and debris from her uniform, feeling a connection to every life she had defended, every choice she had made, every moment she had endured. The impossible had been done not for recognition, but because she believed in something greater than herself. Bold truth. Courage isn't about being fearless. It's about facing the impossible anyway. And as the morning sun stretched over the jagged hills, touching the world with warmth, she knew the night had taught her a simple truth, even in darkness. Purpose can find its way quiet, steadfast, and unyielding. If this story inspired you, share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more tales that remind us that bravery doesn't wait for applause, it finds its own way.